Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of Real Spill with Shyne. This your boy Shyne checking in one more time. I'm joined today by my homeboy Gutta. Gutta, say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on, baby, man?
It's beautiful Saturday, man. Graduation Saturday. I just watched my baby walk across that stage, man. Oh man, it fills you with all kind of emotions, man. You remember 'em being a little bitty kid, you know what I'm saying? You remember all the things that you had to go through, the whoop to whoop. And man, as the dad of a young girl, man, your job is to get out of high school with no babies and a good education, man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I did that right now. Now, of course, the job don't stop there. Anybody that got children know that. But I done got that first leg out the way.
Oh yeah.
You know. So, man, let me go on ahead and tell y'all what the day is, man. Today is May 28th, 2022. While we're taking this time out to talk to y'all, I want y'all to go on ahead and reach up there and hit that like button. Go on ahead and follow and subscribe. Go on ahead and hit that little bell too so that you get a notification every time I drop a brand new video. Now, we're gonna go ahead and jump off into the news today, man. We're gonna do the same thing we do every day. Give you the news stories of the day that could affect your world tomorrow. Now, the first news story we got up today, we're gonna hear a little segment of the news from I forget what channel it come from, but check it out real quick.
Columbine, as you have heard anything like this.
What Steve McGrew, who heads the Texas Department of Public Safety, just described, Chris, as somebody who covers this for a living, is, I would say, the greatest failure in modern American law enforcement history as it pertains to an active shooter. Period. What he described was an incident commander or a situation where, and he says he doesn't know whether or not this incident commander, the person who is the chief of police for the school district, this is his primary job, is the safety of this school. What he says is he made the conscious decision not to enter the classroom while students, as you described, children, as you described, were calling 911. On one particular occasion, around either 12:43 or 12:47, that caller was begging for the police, saying, "Please send police now." Earlier than that, at 12:16, a 911 caller told the operator that 8 to 9 students were still alive. At that point, a member of the law enforcement community was clearly aware that there were children that were alive inside that classroom, and the decision was still not made. We do not know, and he said he did not know or could not share the information as to whether that information was ultimately relayed to the incident commander, who was that chief of police for the independent schools district there. But what we do know is that we had somebody who was armed a tremendous amount of ammo. By the way, we have to discuss
Extraordinary.
1,657 rounds that he had purchased. He said 315 rounds were fired into classrooms at some point. It is almost a miracle that we are not talking about 2 to 3 times the amount of students that are dead here. He talked about the tremendous amount of spent magazines that were found there. But he continued to fire shots, and I just want to double check my notes. 12:21, he had still fired shots. This was
And apparently on the 911 call at 12:21, you could hear shots fired.
That's exactly correct. So we're talking about somebody who was shooting, began firing at the school, according to the timeline he put out, at 11:31 a.m. local time. Still firing at 12:21 local time. It is not until 12:50 local time that police fired shots inside that classroom at the suspect, and at 12:51, officers were beginning to remove kids from the scene. I think a very important point of this, Chris, McGraw could not say, and they have not yet determined whether or not any lives could have been saved if they had moved in sooner.
See, man, of course they ain't gonna say that. They don't want to get nobody no reason to sue. They always worried about liability and covering their own ass at the end of the day. But man, I just don't know how I'd be able to cope with this if that were my kid, man. Knowing that emergency personnel was on the scene.
That explains why they said they had to handcuff a lady outside. One got pepper spray. They tried to get it. They ain't want to do nothing.
Yeah, but I know if I'm out there and a parent and I'm just watching all these police stand around and standing
I'm hearing gunfire too.
and I'm hearing gunfire that going on, man, I'm finna go get my goddamn babies, man. I just can't believe, man. The news story that we got It goes to 12 times Texas police have changed their story of what happened. So, according to the insider, the police then changed their story 12 times on this shooting. They initially said that the gunman was in custody. We know that not to be a fact, man, because the gunman was killed. They say that the brave resource officer had engaged the gunman. We know that's a lie now, because now they say that no officer was readily available and armed. So he was there, but I guess he didn't have no arm. He didn't have no arms on him. um, they say police have been consistent in the details of the gunman's attack on his grandma before the shooting and his crash near a funeral home across the street from the school. But police initially said the gunman was confronted before going into the school. And on Thursday, they said the gunman was firing outside the school and entered the school at 11:40, leaving a 12-minute window that was unexplained. But then on Friday, they said that the shooter actually entered the school at 11:33, 3 minutes after a teacher called 911 to report the crash and a gunman on school grounds. So it appears to me, it seemed to me like what they doing is trying to piece together all the evidence to kind of come up with a timeline of where they ain't gonna be in as much trouble. I sound like they almost fabricating evidence if you want to put a charge on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think so. It's the police department. No, it's the police department, dog. They got friends in high places. At Wednesday's press conference, McGraw said, bottom line, law enforcement was there. They did engage immediately. They did contain him to a classroom. They put a tactical stack together in a very orderly way and breached and assaulted the individual. That was on Wednesday. He also said that officers without hesitation tried to make entry into the school but were stopped by the gunman firing at him. But by Thursday, police said that the gunman had not been killed by a U.S. Border Patrol agent until 12:40. Did you hear who killed him? That's the feds had to come in. Border Patrol said, fuck that, I'm going in now. Oh man, according to new information on Friday, 3 local police officers got to the school at 11:35, just 2 minutes after the gunman got into the building and opened fire. 2 of those cops were grazed by bullets as they entered the school. And in his latest description, McGraw said police exchanged gunfire with the suspect until 11:44. By 11:51, a police sergeant and a federal agent arrived, and as of 12:03, there were 19 officers in the hallway outside the classroom where the gunman was holed up. So they let him stay in that classroom with them children until he had killed almost all of them. When asked Thursday why the officers didn't take down the shooter, he said, that's a tough question. It is. And I mean, just like I said yesterday, man, man, when you're in the middle of the situation, it's real easy to Monday morning quarterback, to sit back here and say what they should have did and what they shouldn't have did and all this right there. But man, when you in that shit and you don't know what's really going on, see, right now we got all the facts. We know it one but one dude in there, this and that. Right. They hearing all them shots. They don't know if it's one dude. He's shooting 2 rifles, So they don't know if it's one shooter, 2 shooters. They trying to get everything together and everything. And I ain't trying to let them off the hook now. I don't think I'm trying to let them off the hook. But you just also got to remember at the end of the day, these people human. Yeah, they've been trained, but training ain't nothing like real life, bro. You talking to a person that have been through training and been through real life. Like training is nothing like the real thing. You can train all day long. When the real shit hit you, it's still a shock to you. Cause for one, when you training the whole time, you thinking that shit ain't gonna never happen here. Right. You ain't taking that shit serious. Shit ain't gonna never happen here, man. And then the day you wake up, that shit happening at your at your school, man. Like, man, my prayers go out to the whole region. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that whole region needs some healing over there. It's a sad situation. I know officers had people inside that school that they done lost. And now they man, when you get put up under a microscope and people go to examining your every move, and if you made this move right and that move right, man, it's hard to be the person that made every move the exact way that people wanted you to make it. You know, I'm sure they thought by containing the guy and not letting him get to other classrooms, they were doing a pretty good thing. But I guess, man, it's hard to imagine what's going through people's minds at a time like this, man, because it's just one thing about it though, they shouldn't have lied.
Right.
They shouldn't have lied. Cause once you lie about it, that let us think that you already knew you were wrong for what you were doing. You just go ahead and stand 10 toes down on what you did, then people will accept your story a whole lot better. Um, but man, if y'all got time, I ain't gonna go through all 12 ways they lied and everything. Y'all can read that for yourself, man. It's on the Insider website. It's definitely worth taking a look at, man. We're gonna move on to the next story. I want y'all to hear this little clip real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and jump to the next story. Here you go.
And outside the door of the classroom, there were 19 law enforcement officers who were not approaching the classroom. It's unclear whether they understood that there were 911 calls being made from inside, right? Can you explain what we now know out of that press conference?
For me, I mean, Kate, you and I are parents. I think probably a lot of people watching this are parents. You don't have to be a parent, I think, even to understand the grief that all of these parents are dealing with, but also to understand the fact that the lives of these children may have been able to be saved had they acted sooner. That especially that 911 call, Kate, at 12:03 that came in. It was the first 911 call that came in from inside those classrooms.
See,
Room 112 specifically, the teacher call.
see, I want to stop right there. We're going to listen to the rest of the story a little bit, but I want to stop right there. See,
Right.
it's people talking like that causes the division. So, I understand we all love our children. I love my children too.
Right.
But y'all want them officers to rush into that room. So you're asking somebody to die. First person through the door gonna die.
Right.
Unless it's the right trained people who got the flash grenades and they can throw that to get them fucked up and all this right here. If you just asking a cop to just bust through the door, the first one, two, or maybe three, they died. This man got AR-15s. Yeah, the first couple through the door gonna die.
Yeah.
He gonna get them. Now the ones behind them, they probably gonna be able to take him down. But them first two or three, for sure the first two dead. First two dead, for sure. So you gotta ask yourself, would your husband step up to the plate and be like, okay, I'll be the one to take the bullet? You gotta ask yourself that, man, cause somebody got to volunteer to be the first person to go through that door. Everybody want to say that you should have did this and you should have did that, man. But you gotta think, man. Buddy want to go home to his family too. Everybody want to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah. But isn't that what you signed up for?
It might be what you signed up for, but I give him back that $40,000 a year before I be the first person through that door. You know what I'm saying? I'll take my name off the paper before I be the first one to go through that door, man. Man, most police officers didn't sign up to die. They signed up to get a check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not signing up to goddamn be the motherfucking public servant and like that. People signing up to get a check, man.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that check ain't enough for my life. What the insurance gonna be? Maybe $100,000. I know that's what you get if you die in the military. $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, $100,000 be gone fast. My family still needs shit. I need to be here to get them shit.
Right.
You understand me? Like, no, man. Like, shit. Yeah, I think something else should have happened. I don't think like shit. I bet if there was some drugs on the other side of that door, they'd have figured out a way to get in there. You know what I'm saying? They do no knock warrants all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now I know it's different when this guy's sitting there waiting on you and whoop the whoop. But man, like I'm sitting here now and I'm just running through scenarios with my little bit of military training that I got. I'm running through scenarios in my brain about how I could have breached that door and got in there without nobody getting hurt. And it's a hard one. Classrooms are set up to be defensive.
Right.
Once he's in there, he's pretty well. He's in there.
Yeah.
It ain't but one door for us to get in. We can't sneak around. We can't goddamn. The windows don't open up. Like in order for you to breach a school, you got to really have some planning did to that.
Yeah.
Now, um, Let's hear a little bit more of this story before we move on to the next story. Hold
Whispering to 911 saying, there was a shooter inside our classroom. Remember, they train for these things. Schools around the country, they train for active shooter drills. My kid as well in New York City trains for active shooter drills.
on.
12:03, she says there was an active shooter inside the classroom. There are 8 to 9 children alive still. Alive still, meaning at that point, some children had died. Some children had been shot by the shooter. Those calls continued, Kate, all the way till 12:15, when in fact the shooter was neutralized. 12:10, 12:21. Some of those calls coming from students as well. And so I asked that question during the press conference saying, did that teacher survive? That called in at 12:03. I didn't get an answer. Did those children survive? The 8 to 9 children that were alive at 12:03 p.m. when she called. I didn't get an answer. All we got was definitively they know 2 of the individuals that called in on 911, and there were multiple calls from inside those classrooms, did survive. The rest of them, they don't know. I'll tell you this, Kate, as well. Yesterday, we thought there was about 12 minutes from the time to which the shooter crashed his car to when he made his way into the school. Now we know that time has shrunk. It was 5 minutes from when he made his way from the crash site into the school. But the first 911 call, and this is also suspect, Kate, was made at 11:30 a.m. after the crash by the shooter from 2 folks at the funeral home who were shot at,
Right.
saying a man has crashed his truck outside of an elementary school and he has a gun on him. 11:30, that is an hour and 20 minutes before this shooter was in fact neutralized.
Boy, that's a long time, man. That's a long time. Oh boy, the next news story we got is feds entered Uvalde school to kill gunmen despite local police initially asking them to wait. See, that's what happened. The feds got there, the feds already know if they on the scene and people keep getting killed, it's gonna be rough. You know what I'm saying? Like the feds can't have that. And I'm pretty sure the feds got a little better gear than what they got, than what the local police got. They say the BORTAC team armed with tactical gear first did not move toward the gunman. After approximately 30 minutes passed, however, the federal agents opted of their own volition to lead the stack of officers inside the school and take down the shooter. That's what it takes, man. It takes somebody stepping up saying, we'll do it. We'll go. You know, and even in the military level, it takes somebody being courageous and being like, my squad to do it. We'll go. Sometimes, man, you might need somebody to go do some recon 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because y'all done heard something out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to get up and lead everybody out there, fam. You know, and most of the time, stuff like that be left to a volunteer basis. And don't nobody volunteer, then they'll pick somebody. But they try to leave it up to a volunteer basis. And I'm just pretty sure what this was too, man. And it's hard. It's hard to be that person to stand up and say, I put my life on the line for the benefit of everybody else. You know, like I said before, man, we just gonna continue praying for everybody involved in this situation. We're gonna pray for the media people that's out there that's reporting it. Cause boy, y'all keep on digging, y'all might end up finding something that you don't want to find. We're gonna pray for the police because we need them to still stay on their job, do their training, get everything they need to get right, man. We're gonna pray for the whole thing. We gonna pray for the whole state of Texas, man. Y'all get down there, man. I pray y'all some healing down there. We're gonna move on to our next story, man, which is a crazy story. We're gonna step away from Uvalde for just a minute, take it on down to Utah. This news story starts out like
And she just said, Mike is
At 6 o'clock, what's going on in Springville? A lot of people there are asking after we learned police are now investigating yet a homicide. This is the 3rd homicide there in the course of
I don't know why
the
this
week.
thing
Police
happened.
don't believe there's any connection between these cases.
Lily Conroy was shot last Wednesday at Hobble Creek.
Yeah, we can't really get that audio good right now. We're gonna just skip over that story right now. They was talking about they done had 3 murders in this same town, and they was trying to figure out if they are related to the story that we want to talk about. But the story we talking about, man, is a Utah woman was found in the fetal position and covered in blood after shooting her 75-year-old stepdad in the head. Like, bruh, bruh, like, man, man, shout out to all the stepdads out there, man, because at the end of the day, you doing a job that another nigga didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? You took a responsibility up that another nigga wasn't man enough to be responsible for. Because shit, my baby mamas, I got kids that ain't with the mama, but they ain't none of them got no stepdad. You know what I'm saying? Because they always had a dad. You know what I'm saying? That they mamas got boyfriends and everything, but they don't call that nigga they stepdad. You understand what I'm saying? Now, so, but other people, they have stepdaddy because they real daddy don't put in the time, the effort, don't send no money home, don't do nothing. And so when you got a guy who done did that for you, you should give him the utmost respect in the world because he didn't have to do that, bro. And like she 33 years old. Ain't no telling how much this man done helped her out over her life when he didn't have to. Now, she ended up locking herself in the bedroom before the police came. She shot her stepdaddy, Michael Huff, who was a decorated Vietnam War veteran. Um, shout out Vietnam War veterans. My daddy was a Vietnam War veteran. You know, speaking of the Vietnam War, this ain't got shit to do with this story, but they treated a lot of them black soldiers a whole lot worse than they treated them white soldiers. you know, White soldiers came home and they was able to get help and they was able to get loans and get disability and everything like that with no problem. Whereas black soldiers, like I said yesterday, they don't never take our mental health into accountability. They act like because we live in the hood, we supposed to be able to take anything. My daddy had to watch his best friend brains get blowed out while he's sitting right beside him on patrol. And that man could never get a check from the VA. That man could never get a check from the VA. But I done read stories of people on here who seem like they doing all right, got 100% disability out here committing crimes and shit, you know. But he shot her stepdad in the head. She ain't shit. I hope they grease up a broom for her, man, cause people like her it's just fucked up, bro. It's just fucked up, man. They say dude was a nice dude. He'll do anything for anybody. Like I said yesterday too, don't nobody ever say that nigga wasn't shit when he dead. So none of that really mean nothing to me. Everybody was the nicest guy in the world when they dead. But when they was here, you ain't go see him. You ain't go see him, man. We're gonna move on to our next news story, man. We're gonna play a little bit of this audio for y'all real quick.
Off after the Texas school shooting. Giants manager Gabe Kapler now saying he will protest the national anthem. KPIX5's Charlie Walters here with his comments. Charlie?
First, it was Steve Kerr on Tuesday, and now Giants manager Gabe Kapler using his platform to spark some sort of change. Kerr made the passionate plea for safer gun laws before Tuesday's game in Dallas. Today, Kapler wrote a blog post where he expressed his disappointment in the country for lack of political action in wake of these mass shootings. Before today's game in Cincinnati, Kapler said he will not come out for the national anthem going forward.
I don't plan on coming out for the anthem going forward until I feel like I feel better about the direction of our country. So that'll be the step. I don't expect it to move the needle necessarily. It's just something that I feel strongly enough about to take that step.
Kapler had a really powerful line when he said, quote, "When you're dissatisfied with your country, you let it be known through protest. The home of the brave should encourage this."
I wholeheartedly agree. But where was that when Colin Kaepernick was trying to say the same thing? Colin Kaepernick was just trying to say the same thing. He was dissatisfied with his country and how he was being treated in his country. Like I want to see how Buddy career gonna end up, cause Colin ain't still. He had a practice, he had a try this week, but we ain't seen him on an NFL field since then, bro. Like Now it's gonna be the popular thing to do a woo the woo, but man, no, man, no, man. If we can't goddamn do it, don't nobody. Eric Reed still ain't never got no job back. There's a lot of people who didn't get their jobs back, man, after that shit. And man, like I said the other day, man, it's all right to protest as long as you ain't protesting for black people. You know what I'm saying? That January 6th shit. Now I ain't gonna cap. A lot of them motherfuckers going to jail. They going to jail. They getting probation. Like it ain't nothing happening to them folks. But now it ain't as popular. It ain't as publicized as it ought to be. You know, because in order for you to really to make a point nowadays, that shit got to be viral.
Yeah.
You got to make that shit viral, man. God damn it. Y'all the one got the control to make shit viral and what ain't viral. God damn, we need to know every step of the way. Like the story we did the other week that nobody else was talking about when old boy got sentenced for the George Floyd thing.
Right.
That should have been viral. Everybody should have known that.
Yeah.
But you ain't know it unless you watch this. And ain't that many people watching it for the world concerned. You know, so it's like throwing rocks and hiding your hand. We get to see the rock, but we don't get to see where it came from. Don't nobody ever you don't get to see the end of it, fam. Like we need to know what happens to these people
Right.
so that other people can be deterred from doing the same thing. But yeah, man. Oh man, that's a wild situation, man. Old Gabe Kepler, man. Gabe said he ain't coming out for the national anthem no more. Boo boo. I don't even know if the Giants any good this year, man. Is it gonna make any difference, man? I don't even know who Gabe Kapler is. At least I knew who Colin Kaepernick was before he got it down there. Man, we're gonna move on to our next two stories, man. We got two stories that's kind of near and dear to me. First of all, you know that rifle that was used in the shooting
Right.
was made in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. And this news story right here gonna speak on that a little bit. Y'all hold on.
15 tactical rifle.
Revered by gun enthusiasts, the NRA calls this America's rifle. With a powerful shot and little recoil, the AR-15 proves especially accurate and lethal. Used to kill supermarket shoppers, worshippers, and children, including the students in Uvalde, Texas, and 17 people at a school in Parkland, Florida.
It's not only been 5 years, it's been more than 250,000 victims of gun violence since my innocent son Joaquin was shot 4 times with an AR-15.
That's Manuel
AR
Oliver.
stands for the original brand name, Armalite rifle, but it now refers to a style of semi-automatic weapon, accounting for 20 million guns across the U.S. A white shooter used one to target black people this month in Buffalo. The Uvalde killer bought 2 for his birthday.
How does an 18-year-old purchase an AR-15? That person's not old enough to buy a legal drink.
Familiar to gamers, the popular Call of Duty franchise put the U.S. Army equivalent M16 in millions of homes virtually. The military and civilian models nearly identical.
It's a versatile, easy to own rifle, and that's why it's so popular.
Canadian firearms stores can no longer legally sell AR-15s, but gun rights activists here still defend them.
Why would someone need an AR-15 at home? An AR-15 is no different than any other centerfire semi-automatic rifle available in the United States or in Canada. It's simply just another firearm.
Americans buy them for self-defense or just recreation. They inflict more damage than a handgun and can include a feature to prevent jams so the shooter can keep shooting.
Like I was saying, the one that got shot over there in Texas it came from over here in Georgia. They retail for $1,870, man. Now, like we were saying yesterday, that's a lot of money for an 18-year-old kid, especially one that didn't graduate high school. Now he had 2 of them, and then they tell us he had like 3,000 rounds of ammunition.
Yeah.
Who is bankrolling this shit? That's shit. I don't think old boy from Buffalo should have been able to afford $1,800. Like these motherfuckers is driving cars that ain't worth $1,800, but they can go put $1,800 on a rifle. Like
More than one.
man, like I just don't understand. Like, why ain't nobody trying to find the money? Whenever they dealing with drugs, they always look for the money because they know they can take the money once they find it. You'll probably be able to take this money too, man. Look into it, man. God damn, it's got to be a conspiracy charge somewhere now where you can take the money. Right? We need to stop this kind of stuff from happening. The only way you're gonna stop it from happening is you stop the funding. If you don't stop the funding, they'll just find another clown, another easy target, somebody else who they can talk off their square, and they'll have them do it. They don't care nothing about these people that they sending out there. You know, man, man, we gotta find the money. Where the hell is the money coming from? But the last story I got today, when we're gonna end our show on, is the two key words from the Second Amendment that you will never hear on conservative media. You know, the Second Amendment reads that a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state and the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. Now, that thing say, shall not be infringed. It don't say shall be infringed for this reason, shall be infringed for that reason, shall be infringed if we have a terrible tragedy. It don't say that. It say shall not be infringed. I don't think the word is that strong on our goddamn amendment. Whatever they talking about, we ain't slaves no more. I don't think our word is that strong. So what I'm trying to get across to people that yeah, it's a tragedy that happened, and I wish I could say that nothing like that'll never happen again, but I can't. But this is chess, it ain't checkers.
Right.
If we let them take away part of that amendment that is written so strongly, it ain't but a matter of time
They gonna take something
before they come for something else.
Right.
You know, and like them QAnon people, I ain't no QAnon person at all. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but them Q people, I ain't one of them at all. But sometimes they have a good point. You know, we know that the CIA and other government agencies have done things to get the American public to feel a certain type of way so that they can do something else and the public can be behind them. We've got paperwork on this stuff. Right? They've done it. We know everybody watching Snowfall know the CIA was bringing cocaine dead into California. Now, I ain't gonna count. The way they made it sign before was like the CIA was bringing crack into the hood.
Yeah.
The CIA didn't bring crack into the hood. Goddamn, Rick Raw brought crack to the hood. The CIA was trying to. If the story is actually accurate, the CIA was trying to make their money out the rich people in LA. And goddamn, Rick Raw was like, "Shit, I can make it him."
Yeah, their way.
Yeah, but that's just the thing with me, man. Like I'm all for, like I said, I don't even know if we can put provisions in there, like I was saying yesterday, but we already got the provision that you got to be 18. So I don't think adding one more step to that could hurt nothing. You know, at least 25 before you can get an assault rifle. At least 25. You know, it's just we got to do something because these 18-year-olds and you can't even say white kids no more because that was a brown kid, I believe. Like it's just it's the kids, man. They so easily persuaded into something. You can sway them this way and sway them that way. But that's gonna be the end of the show today, y'all. That's all the news I got for you. I want y'all to think about that and that Second Amendment thing, man. Gutta, you got something to say to the people before I get ready to get up out of here, man?
I'm about to enjoy the rest of this Saturday.
Man, it's gonna be a pretty sad today, man. God damn, going over Aunt High for a little while. Drink, gonna smoke, gonna have a good damn time, man. I just want everybody to be safe out there. You know, it is sad. You gotta believe they're gonna have them roadblocks out tonight, no matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? So be safe. You know, don't ride with it on you if you ain't got to. You know what I'm saying? Do your best, make it back home to your people, man. Because the people love you, they need you, man. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, man. Being able to come back home at the end of the night. I had a good time with y'all, man. God bless all of y'all. Don't forget, hit the like button, follow, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell, man. We're going to get back with you again tomorrow. Y'all make sure y'all tune in for another brand new episode of Real Spill with Shyne. And I'm out.